Hi Travelers, Tara here. I'm going to come to you today with a quick impromptu reading. I have the Gilded Tarot here with me today. It was a beautiful day outside, but just now a storm has blown up. And it's getting all ugly outside. So I just kind of want to see what... Today is the first day of the full moon. Well, it's the only day of the full moon. Thought it was on the 6th for us here. But it is today. And it is not void, so I'm hoping that I can get some decent messages. Oh, my cards are all messed up here. Alright, here we go. Okay, with the Knight of Swords underneath. Now, the situation is, this is a relationship issue that I'm looking at here, and I have this King of Cups at the bottom. So this is either how you see the other person or the other person sees you. Even if this is a same-sex relationship, whomever is going to take the male, so to speak. Now, I'm not quite certain. I have the Hermit here. And this Hermit, as you can, I don't know if you can see, there he is. This Hermit is just what it means. It is someone who has taken some time, has withdrawn or retreated, and is taking the time to find some answers. Obviously that the person has questions and is looking for some answers, and knows that the answers really are going to be found within him, not outside any place else. Now I have this Six of Pentacles here, and this represents the fears in this spread, or what it is really that could be the issue or trouble. And we know that the Six of Pentacles is a card of harmony and balance. Now this could be in financial issues. Perhaps someone is having some financial issues where they're not financially balanced, therefore they're not emotionally balanced. Some people are like that. I really don't know too many people when their money's like really jacked up that they're not worried. So, but it could also represent either how you give and take in the relationship, and or, okay, how someone is doing a giving and taking with you. But because it comes in the fears position, this is either someone feeling either that they're not going to get exactly what they quote unquote paid for, okay, or vice versa. Maybe they feel that they can't give what someone is asking them, like as if the price may be too high. Now I have this Nine of Wands, and we know that this Nine of Wands is really a card of battle, you can see, but this guy's really at rest, and in a sense the posture would indicate or could insinuate that he has, in a sense, surrendered. And maybe this is a spiritual process that someone is going through, that they're just kind of surrendering to the process, maybe to see where it is that they need to go next, or if they even wish to continue. But nevertheless, they've overcome a lot of obstacles, and they still have the drive and the energy to move forward. But now it's just a time of rest. And this card represents the implication of the relationship. perhaps as if the person assumes that it's going to be a battle, okay? And so they're trying to just rest right now, as if they're going to engage to do more battle, but they're really giving this some great weight. We move here. This is the expectations. And maybe the expectations is that this person has thought that they were going to remain single forever. And now maybe something is coming. Obviously, something has come in and changed, because I have the Lover's card here. And in this particular deck, the Lovers, this doesn't include a third person. There is not a third. That angel in the tarot, the Rider-Waite deck, implies a third person in the relationship. So this is really about making a choice between head and heart and trying to get on the same page. Having some very, very conflicting feelings and emotions surrounding this relationship. And this is the lock. And what I mean by that is, if you are in a situation where maybe you can't see your way out of, this is the lock. In other words, this is what you're going to have to do in order to move forward, okay? Because as the key, I have the Tower here. And we know that the Tower can be an event that causes you to question all your beliefs if you've ever had. It can create chaos in your life. It could be, you know, chaos in the sense of the material world, the actual physical world, mental chaos, emotional chaos. It can also be about having a sudden realization of something. And I have, say, 1, 2, 3 major arcana cards here. So it is definitely, I feel, an issue for this person who represents the King of Cups. That it's really weighing heavily upon the person in some sense. But I don't know if you can see that guy. Can you see that? He's balancing on that wall. So whatever this is, it's not as though the person is not going to recover in some sense. In the old tarot, the old Rider-Waite deck, the people are falling, and they're not hanging on anything. They're literally falling through the air. This guy's somehow managed to land on this brick wall, and he's balancing on one arm. This is the key. So I think this is either going to be some type of event, or it is going to be some kind of revelation for this person after they come out of this space. But they're still kind of stuck, you see, as if they refuse to see the situation either for what it is, or they can't see perhaps they don't see a value in it because it sits above the 6 of coins. But we know that the 6 of coins is a card of harmony and balance. And maybe that's why this person has to go into this space. I'm going to quickly pull a few Sibilas on this. I'm trying to see what cards that I want to look at here. I want to look at the 9 of Wands. You know, and in a sense, that 8 of Wands card could also, it's known as, it's one of the hoodwinked cards, as if the person thinks that maybe there's someone's being not quite truthful. But we know that swords are thoughts. So this is someone's thoughts preventing them from opening their eyes in whatever manner that means. Uh-oh. Well, that just fell out of the deck. We're going to leave that there. That's the Gran Consolazione. It speaks to success, but it is someone thinking about what does it mean to be successful? What does, you know, what does it take to be successful? Maybe they've had success in some areas in the past, and there's some other things they'd like to add to make them feel more successful. So let's first look at the 9 of Wands. This is an odd trio of cards to fall on the Nine of Wands. I have the Pensiero, the Donna de Servizio, and the Consolante Sorpresa. So on the card of battles, wounded, perseverance, patience, taking time out, someone is thinking, and this is a positive card, so maybe this time out is what's needed, but there's some kind of comforting surprise in this for this person. I can't quite make that out. Let's see what the Hermit is trying to tell us. It's the male and female lover with the stanza in between the two of them, and they're facing each other except for this empty room. And someone trying to really, I think, understand what is happening in this situation. We know that the stanza represents communications. It is also a card of great passion, but the room is empty. And there's this gulf, this chasm between these two people here, but nevertheless, they're facing each other. And maybe this is why, maybe someone has to go in and try to figure out why that is. Eight of Swords, because this is the, in a sense, like the outcome. This is the gate. And what I mean by that, if this is the lock, lock, and this is the key, the only way out is through this space. That's the only way out. I have the Morte, Bambino. Well, that's two beginnings. And the Desperate Jealousy, which, in a sense, kind of reinforces this card, because this card could also be about fear, but your own fears. And I can look at the Desperate Jealousy as someone who has extreme worry and anxiety. But again, it's their thoughts, and they can't seem to come out of that space as it stands right now. But it is the end and the beginning of a new beginning. But there's fear here. And in a sense, we could say it's the end of fear, but it's also the beginning of fear. So it's as if the person, as we said, is trying to come to terms with head and heart. And this is really a personal issue. It's not really about the relation. I think the relationship may have brought these things up. Let's see. Now, a tower on top of a tower. Ammalato, the sick person. Sospiri. And then the disgrazia, the house on fire. On top of the tower. You know, and this just could be a lot of Martian energy. Mars is in retrograde. But it's a tower on top of a tower. It's like someone's waiting for something to come in, or waiting for something to happen. They're in a depressed state right now, but whatever this thing is, they're longing and they're waiting for it, and it's a tower on top of a tower. That's quite interesting. So that would lead me to ask, I'm going to pull one more card on the Six of Pentacles. Now, Riunioni, Fortuna, and Mercante on the Six of Pentacles, a card of give and take. Three very, very positive cards on this. So it's kind of saying to me that there's a balance here. Okay? But then I have those two hands down at the bottom. See that? The two hands at the bottom. And we know that this is a businessman. He does negotiations and contracts. So it could very well be saying that something that occurred before, a meeting of some kind, was very positive, and someone is thinking about, I don't know what that is trying to tell me with this 6. Let me see if the book can, for this deck, can give me a little bit more information on this. Because it's trying to tell me something. I just don't know what it's trying to tell me. Well, you guys stop fighting over there. Pentacles. Here we go. We're looking at the 6. Ah. Okay. So it very well could be, if this is in a real world material sense, like a business deal for this king, that his previous meetings with someone are actually, were very fortunate, and that there could be a forthcoming contract. Okay. However, if this is a business relationship is a relationship as well. But this kind of reads, I guess it could be both things, really. Except I have the male lover and the female lover come out on the Hermit card. I can't really say if this is in terms of a relationship, romantic relationship issue, if this is someone wanting to go forward or not. It is a general reading. Well, that's what I have for you. I hope those messages helped. And until next time, namaste.